Welcome back to Ron's Radio Corner. And the radio that's in front of you here is a Jazmm portable radio. And what's interesting is I knocked the camera silly, um, is that the box, I don't think has any model number. Rather uninspired, simple box here. Oh, there it is. It's the model 2211. You can see it checked off there. Um, So I picked this up because the price was right, um, and I kind of wanted to see a little bit more about it. I can see my camera struggling to focus on that. Um, so the interesting thing about this radio is, basic AM FM pocket radio, made by Jazmm, goes for about $10. Which I just did a video on the radio behind it, which is the Jazmm A23, which I picked up. When I picked it up, it was listed on Amazon for about $10, and but now the only listings I see for it actually show it for like $36. At $10, the radio in the back is a much better radio. It's bigger. It's easier to see the display. It has great reception. It's got better sound. It does MP3s and micro SD cards. But as a basic little pocket radio, this is actually a nice radio. And I apologize because you are probably hearing all the annoying sounds of weed whackers and everything else because the weather's nice and I have the window open. See if we can muffle that sound out a little bit. So, one of the things I really liked about this is I like the red case. Seems like a trivial thing, but the red case, stands out. But the white writing on the red case and the white tuning bar and the tuning dial really make this a really easy radio to figure out what channel you're on and where you're tuning. I also like that it has a battery and a tune light. I think a tune light's always a nice thing. The controls are a little odd for me. You have off AM FM. I'm sorry, off FM AM. You have the tuning wheel, and then you have a tiny little volume knob up here, where I'm used to having, a knob on this side. On this side is a flashlight, which I think is kind of dubious, but you know, if this was something you kept in your drawer in case there was a power outage, it might come in handy. Now, sound-wise, and this is the part that I thought was interesting. So, I don't I don't think it sounds bad for a small radio.
One of the state attorney generals who negotiated this deal, New York's Letitia James, said today that this deal will hold the Sackler family accountable for what she described as their role fueling the epidemic of opioid addiction.
Now,
I should say we reached out to the Sackler family.
One thing that I haven't done with this is that sort of band scan where I figure out how many FM stations I can get on it. But I can tell you that it does seem to pick up all the locals fairly well. It does have this nice antenna on the back that not only goes, up, but can rotate out this way, which means that you have lots of ways to position that antenna to do your best to pull in a station. And it's got what I think is kind of an inexpensive little belt, hook there, belt clip, which I would have some questions on how long that would last. But personally, I don't know if I would bother using it. But it's got it. Maybe it would hold up better than I suspect. Decent sounding radio. Now, I brought this guy out only because very comparable in size. This one, when I picked it up, it's the Benz the Benz approved radio or something like that on Amazon, and it's got an odd model number on the box, like Q something or other. I'll find it when I post this video. But when I saw this on Amazon, well, actually, Todd Burt posted about this, and it was like a $9.99 radio with a $5 coupon or a $4.99 coupon. Anyway, you were picking it up for roughly $5, and so I picked it up because I thought, you buy for $5, and I think this is a pretty decent sounding radio.
To eliminate a national program that helps low-income young people finish their education and get job skills.
One problem.
1,000 people a year. When the Department of Labor said it was closing almost 100 job corps centers nationwide to save money, organizations supporting them.
Of course, it wants an antenna.
West News Bureau reports from the
By the way, this has also got similar antenna on the back. You can position it everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but when I review this radio and listen to it, I like the radio a lot. The one thing that I didn't like is that on talk radio or some of the music I listen to where it's sort of this resonant sounding voice, I was getting case vibration. Just you could hear it sort of vibrate. The speaker vibrating against the case. Todderbert had reviewed this radio, but it wasn't the Benz radio when he reviewed it. I think it was like a Dream Sky or something. And I went and found that review, and he called out the same issue with it. And I thought, I still think, for a $5 radio where you're picking it up and it's just something you're going to keep in the glove box or in the trunk of the car or in a drawer just in case you need a radio, this is a great little radio. It actually pulls in stations really well. I did a recent video on that. This actually did a better job at pulling in FM stations than the XH Data D219 and against my vintage Sony Pocket Radio, which was supposed to be quite the little beast. Actually, the Sony performed quite well too, but this outperformed both of those. So this radio, I was curious if it would sound better. I guess my question is, can you get a pocket radio for $10 where it's got really decent sound, and you're happy to use it, and it's only a $10 radio? Because if I had to listen to this all the time, I think that vibration, as the case, does sort of drive me a little insane. So I was curious, except I noticed I get a little case vibration with this one too. Maybe not quite as bad as with this one, but I still get it. Now, one thing that I think is really interesting, I'm not a big headphone person, but somewhere along the way, probably because I got that speaker vibration, I plugged in a pair of Sony headphones into this, and I thought, wow, this sounds really nice with the Sony headphones. The Sony headphones sounded great, and this really does a great job of picking up stations. I don't think this sounded nearly as good on headphones as did this Benz radio. And of course, that guy in the back there, all things being equal, if you're picking, any of these radios up for $10, that one sounds better than the two pocket radios, which probably seems a little bit like a no-brainer, simply because the speaker inside of that is obviously clearly larger than what you're getting in one of these little radios. So, I don't know what more I can say about it. I do love the red. I love how easy this is to read. It's not a bad sounding radio. For a little inexpensive pocket radio.
I'm Hannah Merzbach in Riverton, Wyoming.
I do like the tuning knob, but I really don't care for the tiny little volume rotary knob that's there. That's just preference. Not really that hard to get used to it. I think the flashlight up top here is a gimmick, but if this is something you're keeping in the drawer for an emergency, you may find that pretty useful. So personally, if If you're going to buy a small, inexpensive pocket radio, I think either one of these would fit the bill. Um, if I were to buy, I love how I don't know if it's the red or what, I love how the camera's struggling to focus there. Um, I think either of these would fit the bill. I think they both sound good. The black one sounds better with headphones. The red one might sound a touch better without. The black one definitely pulls in great stations. Has great ability to pull in stations. I don't know if the red one is quite as good. I haven't tested that, but it picks up all the locals without a problem. Um, they both run on AA batteries. Um, it really just comes a matter of preference. If the red one's 10 and the black one's 5, I'm buying the $5 one all day long. I don't know if I would spend the extra $5 just for the color choice. But if they were equal price and you were looking at these, I really like the red on white or the white on red contrast there. Makes it really easy to see, much easier to see than this. I mean, you know, can you even tell? I might need the flashlight on this one so you can, you know, to see that. Where this is just super easy to see. So I also love that has a tune light. So if you're getting this one for $9.99, but you can get this one for $5, I'd probably go with that. If you could get this for $7.99, and I have seen it with some coupons, it might be worth considering. But I got to be honest with you, I'm really kind of curious. I don't know. I don't know how many radios I'm going to go buy to find out. I don't know. Does the Prunus Pocket Radio sound that much better than these two? Because if so, maybe I would just go with the Prunus Radio. Um, there's a Sanjin Pocket Radio that I think you can pick up for somewhere under 20. Is that a radio that's got much better sound that if you listen to it all day long, it's not vibrating against the case? It might be worth spending that sort of money. So, I don't know. If you have any of these radios and you have any feedback, leave it below. If you're interested in the radio in the back, if I don't end up reshooting the video, you'll probably see that I already have a video up for the Jazmm A23 that's in the back there. A great radio if you find it at that $10 price point or under 20, but ignore that I said that and go watch the video that I did. And thanks for watching this one.